Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Inhofe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, let me just echo the words of Senator Warner on how much appreciative I am for the service you have rendered for your country in the past and what you're doing today. It's going to be unpopular for me to say what I'm saying, but somebody in this hearing has to do it. A lot of the criticism from yesterday's hearings and today's and the future hearings are highly politically charged. It may be just a coincidence that those 6 people who are most outspoken in their criticism of the effort and of the president yesterday are all 6 running for president. And I think that I'm glad that Senator Lieberman talked about people who are opposing this. And if you oppose it, you need to come up with why you're opposing it and what are the solutions. A lot of people who are opposing the president today were opposing him before he made his speech. Now, let me be a little bit positive on some things because all we've heard is negative so far. I've had occasion in the last few years to be in the Iraqi AOR 12 times, probably more than anybody else has. And as I think back, and I think after the first election, I remember so well how people risking their lives to get out and vote, women knowing that they're going to have opportunities they've never had before. One lady through an interpreter told me, she said, as I was voting, it occurred to me, this isn't just the first time in 30 years of a brutal dictator. This is the first time in 4,000 years we've had an opportunity for self-determination. She said, I couldn't see the ballot for the tears in my eyes. I thought the president did a great job in his speech, and I'd just like to repeat one thing that he said. The fact that he took responsibility for the failures, and there have been failures. He went on to say the gloves have to come off. The implications of failing in Iraq will be faced by our children and grandchildren, of which I have 20. There will be sectarian cleansing, civil war, and probably genocide. Radical Islam will have a safe haven to carry out training to use as a base of operations to target free societies. And Senator McCain, who's not here right now, but he made the comment, and they would follow us home. Let me just make a comment. One thing that I don't want to hear in the years to come is that we didn't resource this thing right. Let me suggest a couple of things here and get your response to them very, very briefly. First of all, to give our commanders the troops that they're asking for, and to give them the resources they need, including the rules of engagement. Secondly, equipping the Iraqis. One of the experiences I had in Fallujah was these guys are really committed. I'm talking about the Iraqis now. They say, yeah, we're going to be able to take care of our own security. But I look at the stuff they're carrying around. Most of it's old Chinese and Russian stuff that doesn't work. They're out there instead of with any kind of army. They're in pickup trucks. And so I would ask you, probably either one of you, are we in a position to provide the necessary equipment? Because you don't hear anything about that. I'm talking about equipment to the Iraqis. And secondly, if you determined in the near future that we need more troops, will you come back and ask for them?
Sir, yes to both. On the Iraqi side, the equipping of the Iraqi armed forces is at about 98% of what we need to give to them. The other 2% is being produced and delivered. They've got flak jackets, helmets, rifles, machine guns, small vehicles, trucks, Humvees, and the like. So a lot
of that was done since the last election took place, I assume.
Since the last election in Iraq.
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's true. That's correct. With regard to troop levels, yes, sir, we will continue to ask for the troop levels. The commanders on the ground have asked for, in this instance, 2 brigades for Baghdad and 1 brigade for Adnan al-Anbar. In the process of providing those, we gave them not only what they asked for, but put in the pipeline to be delivered at a later date troops that can reinforce success. So they're going to get what they need, and the commanders are happy to have that additional capacity should they need it.
I assume you agree with that statement, Mr. Secretary. I was going to, but time's not going to permit, to get into the justice problem that is over there, and we have these qualified attorneys right behind me, and Senator Sessions and Graham, and I'm sure that Cornyn, that they'll address this. So let me jump into something else. I want to commend you, Secretary Gates, for coming out and recommending the 92,000 additional soldiers and Marines. It's something, the drawdown of the 1990s, I saw this coming. Many of us did. We went to the Senate floor, and now we are correcting that, so I appreciate it. In your written statement, you made a statement I don't think you said in your spoken statement. I just want to read this because I think it really puts it in perspective. Significant mistakes have been made by the United States in Iraq, just like in virtually every war in human history. That is the nature of war. But however we got to this moment, the stakes are now incalculable. And essentially that's what almost exactly what Winston Churchill said at one time. Now, for clarification, General Pace, because I may not understand this right, on the 9 districts that we have, we were talking about having a brigade of army, Iraqi army, and a brigade of police, and then they would be fortified by a battalion of our troops or coalition troops. Is that correct?
Sir, when all the forces are there, there will be 18 Iraqi brigades, 9 Iraqi army and 9 Iraqi police. There are currently 6 Iraqi army and 9 Iraqi police.
I'm breaking it down to each one of the
districts now. In each of the 9 brigade areas, the mix will be either 1 Iraqi army and 1 Iraqi police, or 2 of one kind or 2 of another, based on the capacity of the police and the types of
the problems there.
Yes, sir. Whether that police would be most useful or soldiers would be most useful in those districts.
It would be 2 brigades though in each district.
It may be 3 in a particular district and 1 in another. So, but the math ends up being, on average, 2 per district.
Okay.
We then have a battalion per district. But we have 6 brigades already in Baghdad, with a 7th brigade, that's our mobile reserve, which is our striker brigade, and we propose to add 2 brigades to that. So we would end up having a total of 9 brigades focused on Baghdad. The Iraqis would have 18.
Okay, well, I just think it's important to let the American people know the mix that's there. It's heavily weighted toward the Iraqi participation, and we're in the back supporting them on somewhat of an embedded basis.
And as you know, sir, the Iraqi casualties today are twice what ours are. I mean, the Iraqis are in this fight, and they are taking it. The responsibility that they need some help.
And General Pace, the Iraqis I talk to when I'm over there say that they're very proud of it. They want to be out front. My time has expired, but I'd like, for the record, to have you respond to this hugely successful operation in Somalia. I was always 2 of the programs that I've supported very much are Train and Equip and the SERP program. And I think probably the Train and Equip biggest success story that we can use as a model took place in Ethiopia. And I'd like to have you, for the record, respond as to what lessons we learned there that are going to be helpful for the 2 of you.